Hey everybody, HomeSliceHenry here, and in today's video we're taking a look at a brand new Pokemon in the world of Pokemon Go, Clodsire. These battles were submitted to the channel by a member of the community, Smudgy B, so many thanks for the battle submission. Clodsire is a ground and poison type Pokemon with the moveset of Poison Sting, Sludge Bomb, and Earthquake that you can evolve from catching Paldean Wooper during the Wooper Calm Day. This thing is very bulky. It has a very similar stat product to XL Azumarill, so it's going to be interesting to see how it performs. So without further ado, let's hop into the matches, and let's check out Clodsire in the Open Great League. Hopping into the first match, we see a Nightmare leading Pelipper into the Lantern. Ready Steel safe switch, and the opponent is staying in this matchup with the Lantern. Ready Steel firing off the Zap Cannon into the Lantern. Lantern is going to tank that move and send in Gligar. And honestly, this is perfect. The goal of the Ready Steel safe switch is to check and see if there are any ground types lurking in the back that the Clodsire would not want to face. Clodsire is absolutely walled by Gligar. There's nothing it can do, so it's very nice to bait it out with the Ready Steel. Dig will connect. Gligar going to be hit with a second Zap Cannon, and while this will not KO, it's going to get Gligar perilously close to getting KO'd. Gligar, getting worried about getting Lock-On farm down, will have to go for the Aerial Ace here to secure the KO, and then Pelipper will come back in. Pelipper is going to be no shielding here because Pelipper not really going to be able to do a lot with a loaded Lantern that's about to enter the field. Opponent is going to send in the Lantern. In comes Clodsire. Lantern is going to be firing off a Surf. Let's see this damage. Surf does nothing to Clodsire, and in the back, it's superior. So the opponent, once Gligar is out of the way, is core broken by the Clodsire. Clodsire only has nuke moves, and with Poison Sting as the fast move, it does not do a lot of damage. The nice thing is it generates energy pretty quickly, but it absolutely has to. Opponent running a non-legacy Superior. Superior definitely does prefer running Frenzy Plant. Sludge Bomb will connect, hitting for super effective damage onto the Superior, and we're going to see a no shield now from the Clodsire. Grass Knot connects, Clodsire able to withstand the damage. We see a switch into the Pelipper and getting the snipe and banking the move for later, and now all that this Pelipper has to do is make it to a potential Hurricane here. We see Lantern going for the Surf. That will not cut it, and Hurricane is resisted, but it's gonna hurt. Opponent commits the shield. Back in comes the Clodsire with the Earthquake loaded, and that's gonna be game over. Clodsire takes down the Lantern, and that's a good game. Moving into the next match, leading Pelipper into Azumarill. Not a bad lead by any means, but there's two much stronger answers in the back, so we will see an immediate save switch into the Reggie. Azu staying in this matchup is a surprise. Azu is going to bank a bunch of energy and send in their own Registeel. So far, the opponent's team is completely core broken by the Clodsire. Registeel is going to be able to make it to the Focus Blast, putting pressure on the opponent's shield. Opponent is going to commit the shield, but since the opponent got debuffed by the Zap Cannon, this is a very safe no shield here for Smudgy. Smudgy will be able to withstand the Focus Blast damage, make it to another Focus Blast, and this is going to put a lot of pressure on the opponent. They've already shielded once. Are they willing to give up the final shield? Yes, they are. They're going to give up the final shield, go for the Lock-On down, and get the Lock-On down. Now the question is, do you send in the Clodsire here? In comes the Clodsire. It is a complete wall to energy from Registeel. Registeel goes for the Zap Cannon. That is double resisted. That's just not going to cut it. Clodsire farming up. Back in comes the Azumarill. Going to fire off an Ice Beam here. Ice Beam will hit for super effective damage, so Clodsire will commit a shield and farm up to the back-to-back Sludge Bombs. Perfect charge move timing, going for Sludge Bomb number 1. Farming up, and again, very, very nice charge move timing, going for Sludge Bomb number 2 into the Azumarill. Azu will get KO'd. And now the opponent still has the very low health Registeel. They don't really want to send that in, so they send in their final Pokemon. It's a Scrafty, and the opponent's team is just completely core broken to shreds by Clodsire. Earthquake connects. That does quite a lot of damage. Again, with these expensive charge moves, Clodsire really prefers having a shield advantage. Foul play, that's just not going to cut it. We now see a switch into the Pelipper to bait back out the Registeel. Registeel is going to fire off the Zap Cannon. Easy shield for the Pelipper. Pelipper overfarms massively, and the opponent concedes the match. We've got some spice from the opponent in the next match, leading Pelipper into Shadow Dragonite. Shadow Dragonite, of course, immensely oppressive fast move pressure, but it's very, very glassy. Pelipper is going to commit the shield on the Dragon Claw. Pelipper farming up to the back-to-back Weather Balls. Weather Ball is resisted, but it's still going to do a lot of damage. Opponent is going to no-shield. Pelipper farming up. We see a switch into the Registeel. Is this enough for the superpower? Smudgy lets it go, and it is just a Dragon Claw. That is absolutely massive. Opponent now sends in a Powder Snow Alolan Sandslash. Powder Snow on Alolan Sandslash does give it increased play into some matchups, for example like Lickitung, but it does make it a bit more awkward into the Steel types, as of course the Powder Snow not going to be doing a lot of damage. Drill Run will connect onto the Registeel. Registeel farming up a massive amount of energy, and we're going to see Alolan Sandslash firing off another move. Registeel commits the shield. Registeel farming up and going for the Zap Cannon into the A-Slash. This should be grabbing the final shield from the opponent. Registeel farming up energy here, looking to switch into the Pelipper, and that appears to be a CMP tie. Did the opponent react in time? Were they able to throw the Ice Punch, or is this the Drill Run? Alolan Sandslash went for the Drill Run. It's a CMP sack swap, and we see the Weather Ball caught onto the Alolan Ninetales in the back, and Shadow Alolan Ninetales is going to have an absolutely terrible day, as in comes Clodsire. Clodsire will be hit with super effective damage from the Weather Ball, but again, Clodsire has some very nice bulk to it, very similar bulk to XL Azumarill, but Clodsire doesn't require any XLs, which is very nice. Sludge Bomb will secure the KO. In comes the Alolan Sandslash. Sandslash firing off energy, and this Ice Punch will secure the KO. Back in comes the Registeel. It's a race, and the Registeel makes it to the Focus Blast. This will be massive overkill, taking down the Sandslash and securing the win. We see more dragons in the next match, leading Pelipper into Shadow Dragonair. Again, a pretty cool pick from the opponent. Pelipper farming up quite a bit of energy here. Dragonair is going to go for the Body Slam as soon as it gets it. Pelipper actually going to no-shield here. Body Slam does a lot of damage. Farming up and going for the Weather Ball. Weather Ball is going to be hitting for resisted damage, but we do see a shield from the Dragonair. In comes Registeel. Registeel is going to be able to tank this Aqua Tail relatively safely and look to farm up on energy. Dragonair staying in this matchup. Dragonair going to be hit with the Focus Blast. Decision time for the opponent. They already shielded once. They're double shielding the Dragonair, but the opponent giving up shields does hopefully mean that Clodsire will do well in the back, since it only has nuke moves. Registeel continuing to farm. We see a switch by the opponent into Azumarill, trying to catch a Focus Blast, but instead they catch Registeel's hands as the Zap Cannon connects. And now we see a pivot into the Clodsire, saving the Registeel for later. Clodsire will be hit with a super effective Ice Beam from the Azu, and again, that just does no damage. The bulk on this thing is really, really fun. Clodsire is finally going to use the shield as Azu goes for the Ice Beam, farming up just shy of 100 energy and going for the Sludge Bomb. Sludge Bomb is going to secure the knockout onto the Azumarill. In comes the Dragonite, but not for long. Sludge Bomb number 2. Clodsire getting the KO. In the back, it's a Registeel, and it's all over for the opponent. Clodsire firing off the Earthquake. This will hit for super effective damage onto the Registeel. Opponent sees the writing on the wall and concedes the match. Moving to the next match, looking for the 5-0, leading Pelipper into Shadow Alolan Sandslash. This is a matchup where I believe Pelipper is able to win the zeros, but the more shields that are used, the more that it is typically going to favor the Sandslash. Sandslash is a bit of an awkward spot for this team, as if an opponent double shields the Sandslash, then it is generally going to get a bit uncomfortable. Pelipper is able to make it to the Weather Ball. Weather Ball will secure the KO here, but the opponent is going to commit the shield. We now see a pivot into the Registeel, saving that Pelipper for a potential catch later on. Drill Run will connect. That does massive damage onto the Registeel. Registeel continuing to farm. Sandslash has a lot of energy. Registeel is going to be forced to burn a shield. Registeel continuing to farm, going for the Focus Blast. Focus Blast will be massive overkill onto the A-Slash. A-Slash is going to commit the shield. A-Slash, at this point, do you just let this go? But this is a tough Poison Sting farm down going up against a Steel type. And now, I guess it's time. In comes Clodsire, looking for the 1v3. Oh, actually, we see the Pelipper brought in, trying to get any extra possible wing attacks, and in comes the Clodsire. Clodsire is going to let the first move go. Opponent goes for the Ice Punch. Clodsire is now going to be met with Sableye, and this is a bit unfortunate for the Clodsire. Opponent has two pretty solid checks. Earthquake will connect. Clodsire is going to be hit with a charge move here, and this is going to hurt. Shielding up the foul play. Clodsire continuing to farm. Clodsire going for the Sludge Bomb. This is resisted damage due to the Ghost typing on the Sableye. Sludge Bomb will connect onto the Sableye, and Sableye will make it to the last second charge move here. Foul play, gets the Clodsire low, and it's a simultaneous KO, which means the opponent takes the win. Moving into the next match, leading Pelipper into Alolan Ninetales. Two better responses in the back, gonna stay in with the Pelipper to start. Pelipper farming up a ton of energy, and a switch into the Registeel as the opponent fires off the Weather Ball. Weather Ball going to do absolutely nothing. Opponent now gonna send in Medicham. Medicham farming up energy, and Medicham is actually going to be firing off an Ice Punch here, or a Power Punch. It is the Ice Punch, wanting to get some damage before a potential Zap Cannon debuff. Zap Cannon onto the Medicham, it's going to hurt. Zap Cannon connects. We do not see a debuff. Registeel farming up, making it to the Focus Blast, but dying with that move. The good news is the Pelipper has a ton of energy, so it is going to be able to threaten the Medicham. In comes the Pelipper. Pelipper not throwing its energy quite yet, just going to be shielding up the charge move from the Medicham, and now going for the Weather Ball. Weather Ball onto the Medicham, I believe should be lethal. Opponent actually commits the shield on the Medicham, which is a bit of a surprise. Going to fire off the Weather Ball. Medicham now going to get KO'd, and when the Ninetales comes in, it is Clodsire time. In the back, it's Greninja, and that is not what you're hoping to see when you send in Clodsire. Clodsire goes for the Sludge Bomb. We see a shield from the Greninja. Greninja already at enough for a Hydro Cannon. Clodsire commits the shield. It's a Night Slash. Thankfully, the opponent does not get the boost. Opponent is going to be launching the Hydro Cannon, and this is going to hurt. That does massive damage to the Clodsire. Clodsire able to withstand that damage, though, and make it to the Earthquake. Earthquake will connect. Greninja gets KO'd. Back in comes the Ninetales. Can Clodsire make it to the Sludge Bomb? Yes, it can. Banking the Sludge Bomb for later. Pelipper does not make the move, and Clodsire loses CMP. Very unfortunate. Clodsire didn't look like it could make it to the move. It does, but losing CMP in the endgame to the Alolan Ninetales. Hopping into the final match, leading Pelipper into Bastiodon. We see a safe switch into Registeel, and the Bastiodon is staying in this matchup. What is the opponent running in the back that they do not have a good response to a Registeel safe switch? That Focus Blast absolutely rocks the Bastiodon. Bastiodon is going to return fire with a Flamethrower. Flamethrower will connect. Bastiodon, unfortunately, can't really be lock on down here, so Registeel is going to have to waste 75 energy on a Focus Blast to get rid of it. But Registeel has now one switch advantage in the back. Opponent has a Shadow Victory Bell. Farming up with the Registeel, going for the Zap Cannon, looking for an ever-important debuff to reduce the amount of damage that this Victory Bell can do, and the debuff does come through. That's very nice. In comes the Pelipper. Pelipper will take massive damage from the Leaf Blade. Opponent actually goes for an Acid Spray debuff. That is incredibly unfortunate, as now Pelipper, its defense is lowered. It's taken a lot more damage. We do see the shield from the Victory Bell. Victory Bell gets the farm down. In comes the Clodsire. Clodsire is going to no shield here. Shadow Victory Bell goes for the Leaf Blade. Clodsire able to withstand that pretty well. And in the back, the opponent is running double Razor Leaf. They have a Ludicolo and Bastiodon double Razor Leaf. Do you know what that really doesn't want to see? Clodsire. Clodsire is able to make it to a second Sludge Bomb. Sludge Bomb is going to secure the knockout. Down goes Ludicolo. Back in comes the Victory Bell. But it's too little, too late for Grasshole, as Clodsire takes the win. All in all, Clodsire is a massively bulky Pokemon that does not require XL candies, and it's a very accessible Pokemon at that, considering that Paldean Wooper is going to be everywhere during the Calm Day. So this is a Pokemon that I would recommend getting a good IV Paldean Wooper. This thing, while it does not have the potential meta impact that it could have had, as pre-release it was data mined with Poison Jab and Surf, which would have quite literally made it the #1 Pokemon in the Great League. Unfortunately, those moves were taken away, so its current moveset is going to be the Poison Sting, Sludge Bomb, and Earthquake. So it's not quite the meta shaker that it could have been, so in its current role, it looks to be a very bulky endgame sweeper. In the 2 shield, Clodsire is going to struggle just due to the fact that it's stuck with only expensive charge moves, so it can get outpaced quite a bit. But if you can get shields down from your opponent, this thing does look to be a potent sweeper, as it does have the ability to tank a charge move in the zeros while hitting for big damage with those powerful base damage charge moves that it has. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. If you're enjoying the content, make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. And a special thank you as always to our members here on YouTube. The support guys provide is sincerely appreciated. So thank you guys oh so very much. And until next time, I've been HomeSliceHenry.